There we go.
Okay, great. Call the meeting to order.
6:00 p.m. Roll call: Amanda Houston, Julia Kitely,
Here.
Cherie Adkins, Jessica Hopkins Hubbard,
Here.
Leslie Smestad.
Smestad.
Our student commissioner is Alyssa Simmons, who I have not heard from.
Were they confirmed?
Yes, but
The time lapsed a little.
yeah, but they haven't responded to my text or my emails or anything like that. So at this point, since they haven't said that they are not going to serve, then after they are absent for 3 times, then they're not serving anymore. So I think that's kind of
Okay.
how we're handling that probably.
Okay, let's move on to accept the consent calendar.
I move to accept the consent calendar. And second.
Say seconds. Do we need an all in favor for that one or?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? None.
Thank you.
Any public comments?
No public comments tonight.
Moving on to current library narrative.
Oh.
But this was a very nostalgic one for me.
Yeah, I got that impression.
Yeah.
Because it was people that have grown up.
Yeah, they grew up coming to the library. It's pretty fun.
I will say, when my daughter and I came to the library
Mhm.
a couple weeks ago, she specifically had to find this one book that her crush at school had. She had to read it too.
Mhm.
And children's librarian was nice enough.
Excellent.
I was like,
Awesome. I'm glad we came through.
Cool. Library director's report.
I do also have a presentation, so I always forget to start that though. So let me share my screen. Oh, that was my presentation. That was what I'm moving. All right. All right. I'm happy with door counts. And I'm happy with this one too, which is April, even though I realized I forgot to change it from March. So no public comments. So a couple of big things. The bathroom remodel is finished. So happy about that. The toilets are working. We had some issues to iron out with them, but that seems to there was some pressure flow problems. And so they were getting clogged like every single day. And then also we didn't know how to shut off the water because it's behind this like little thing you have to turn. And then and so thank goodness I happened to be working on a Sunday because we were getting the UV protection installed in the Carnegie room. Because then I mopped up a lot of water on the floor. But it didn't get to the carpet. It was pretty close, but it didn't get to the carpet. So it's just been, there's been a lot of bathroom stuff going on. Yeah. Yeah. Like a class in plumbing would not have gone amiss in graduate school, to be honest. Nope, not just hanging with the books. And certainly not reading and eating chocolate like some people seem to think we do. I mean, all right. So also big news for us. We have been working on a plan for redoing the teens area, which hasn't had new furniture in 15 years, I think at least. So it's needed a refresh. So this year we put up, in September we did the paint and we did the big sign, which has been great. But we're also going to redo some of the shelving, which is very expensive. So our library friends gave us an additional $25,000 this year, and we're using that for shelving. And then the shorter shelving that's still in teens, we're going to be able to move elsewhere in the library. One of the things we realized recently was when we did a weeding report on our large print collection, which is a report that says what hasn't checked out in 3 years. Is it still here? Is it in decent condition? And if stuff isn't getting checked out, then it's not going to stay on the library shelves. And there were no items that came up for large print, which is great. And it also means it's very tight in that collection and there's no room to grow. And it obviously is checking out very well. Mm-hmm. So Jessica, one of the information librarians upstairs, came up with a plan for redoing where the AV is so that we can move the large print. And that's all contingent on the short shelves from teens moving over there. It's just this one whole big dominoes. I have like a phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. So, but that's exciting. I'm really grateful for the library friends. This makes about, I think, $60,000 they've given us this year. So we're using that for a lot of shelving, for the UV protection on the windows, possibly for lighting. We're going to kind of wait and see on that because it's a lot brighter in that room now, which was an unexpected thing for us. So that's been good. And staff were, of course, getting ready for the summer reading program, which starts on June 6th. So I put a picture on there of our library mascot, but then I also brought it because it was just so cute. And then I'll pass this around. This is a packet from the children's program. None of the programs have changed a whole lot this year. Our theme is Plant a Seed, Read. So we're also starting our seed library at the end of the month, at the end of May. So that's something else that we're excited about. And also doing the plant exchange, which has been super popular. I think that is all I have. Any questions? Pardon me. Any questions?
Is he a seed?
He's a potato.
He's a potato.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I could see how it could be a seed, though. Yeah, for sure. Mm-hmm. Oh, yes. Percival P. Potato. Yes. Yeah.
Really?
Yes. We have to think long and hard about mascot names, and then they have to go through lots of different people, including teenage boys, to see is this problematic in any way?
They're a good bunch to have.
Yeah, they are. Because we got real close to a very big mistake one time, like flyers printed.
We're like, no.
And then flyers got reprinted. So now we just check things out a little better. You learn something every day.
Public Works Day coming up.
Public Works Day is coming up.
Okay.
Yes.
That back at home.
You cannot.
No, not yet.
Not yet. Oh. Also, because tomorrow we have our big staff training on how to do summer reading, how to register people for summer reading at all of the different desks. And we also have a staff summer reading, which I'm really excited about because I do a weekly activity thing that's totally optional, but every time they finish something, then it goes into a drawing, and at the end of the summer, one person wins a gift certificate. So, and then we also have some funding for staff appreciation, and so every week this summer, I also have a little gift that staff can pick up in the in my office. So
every week?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes, it's really exciting. So tomorrow I've got these little potato enamel pins that are so cute. I'm so excited to pass those out. And then I have things like one of those cooling towel things.
Yeah.
One is a little sunscreen thing. There's like some other enamel pins and some stickers, and yeah. It'll be fun. I'm excited about it. It's fun for me. All right.
Okay, moving on to unfinished business, library policy review, library card policy.
Library card policy review. So I did put an updated form, thank you. After, excuse me, when I took your,
That way.
oh, yeah,
Sorry.
they never saw it,
Yeah,
did
we
they?
just couldn't go.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Sorry,
Sorry,
try and airmail it, but I didn't think.
Thank you. So I took the suggestions from last time. Also talked to my circulation manager and then made those changes, which I apparently didn't give myself a copy of. No, maybe here it is. Sorry.
I
Here
was
it
gonna
is.
say, I have 0.
Oh, wait.
Two also, so it may be that, yeah.
So you would have to be, were you here at the last meeting in person? Yeah, you were in person. I probably gave, yeah,
Oh, was I?
No,
No, I
virtual.
was online. 'Cause I
Yeah.
had so much feedback and I was just sitting there on Zoom.
that's why you had to.
Okay. So keep that. Yeah, right. I should keep that. or-
I read it
Yes.
online.
So walking through some of the changes, one of the biggest ones we talked about was between Newburgh Dundee educator cards and an agency card. So we added an agency card area too. And then use the wording from CCRLS, which basically says, much the same thing as the Newburgh Dundee school one, which is the individual signing up for the card accepts responsibility for loss or damage accrued. And they must provide document of their current employment status. And then they expire every year. October 31st is just our standard expiration. And that's mostly for teachers. And that way it gives them a chance so that we don't have this on top of the beginning of the school year. So this gives everybody just a little bit of chance to breathe. So. And then we called the library card the local card instead of the temporary card because that language was confusing. And I think they had already actually changed the name to local down below. So this just reflected that. And then I just changed some of the wording around as well per your request. And I think it sounds better.
Good.
All right. So you just need to vote on that one then.
You want me to make a motion? I make the motion that we accept the updated library card policy as presented.
Thank you.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
All right. Thank you.
Okay, moving on to new business. Strategic plan.
Strategic plan time. All right. I have I'm pretty sure I emailed this to you, but I also printed it out for you. And it is I printed out totally the wrong thing. Yep. So this was going to be what I meant to print out was what I had emailed you.
Evaluation.
Right.
The evaluation. Yeah. You made notes?
No.
Awesome. Great. So let me go to my email and get that one.
I think it's just a general question I can ask while you're probably doing that.
Yeah.
In the plan, it talks about a subcom tied into the amphitheater in December 2026. Is that happening?
Yes. Well, should be happening. Yes. The plan is for it to happen. That's why I was like,
In summer.
we are not technically in summer.
I've got a whole month.
Right. It feels very much like summer today.
It does
Yeah.
feel like summer today, that's for sure.
Fast forward.
My daughter would gleefully fast forward if she could.
Oh, man, so would my kid. Okay, so my sent items. And
Figured after being gone for a week and walked out to the garden and I was like, oh gosh, no, I'm not ready. Right? It's too
Yeah.
much. Oh,
I know it's not usually quite this warm,
yes.
this early, and I think I missed my window.
Oh, probably.
ooh, I am doing a garden this year and I do not know what I'm doing.
That's the most fun
is
because
the
then you're
most
not like, you don't have any expectations.
I have
That was
none.
the best
Yeah.
garden we had. Now we have expectations and it can be very disappointing.
I love that you're
That's
doing
funny.
a garden this
Me
year
too.
and the theme for the summertime program
Right.
is seed.
Plant a seed read.
Is the
Very
seed
on
library
theme.
gonna
Very
be
on
people can check, like not check, but can take seeds?
Yes. And then they can also bring seeds too.
Do they have to be in their original packages?
No.
I have so many seeds.
It's,
Like corn's only
it's gonna
good
be
for
fun.
1 year setting, because they give you so.
Oh,
I can't plant
yeah.
They really do. Yeah. My corn never grows.
Yeah.
I tried again last year. I'd get
It's gonna be pretty warm this year, try again.
I'm doing, I think this year I'm only gonna do my herb garden, because I do my herb garden every year, and then I like process it and freeze it and use it all winter.
Go.
And then we have a pumpkin patch that my daughter and her best friend did in our backyard, where they each get to plant one pumpkin. It's super fun. But last year
That's
only
great.
one pumpkin plants produced pumpkin.
Drama.
Yeah.
It was. Because there was one
Oh.
orange pumpkin and there was, my daughter had the white pumpkin, only the white pumpkin plant. produced pumpkins.
Yeah.
And so her friend was like, I was like, I swear, we treated them the same.
That's a bummer. All right. So my apologies for not printing that out for you. So did everyone have a chance to read through the evaluation? Don't know that I need to read it again. So what are your questions then?
Well, I did have questions in regards to B1. We talked about social media engagement is down. Do we know why? Do we have any sort of indication as to why?
I see less people on Facebook.
Yeah,
So I think it kind of depends on our,
I think people are trying to protect their like ability to move throughout the world without a high level of anxiety.
Mhm.
Okay, so we think that they're not viewing the page because they're going dark on social media type of thing.
So I think there's some of that. I also think that if we want to have with the algorithms on Facebook, if we really want to push our stuff, we'll need to pay for it. And
Or have people like comment
yeah,
library and get a copy of our summer school. Because that's like interaction.
Yeah. So we do have a really good interaction with our library newsletter though.
Okay.
So, and we have a over 20% open rate, which is really good.
Yep.
So, I'm not too concerned about that. I think doing more videos also helps. And also that takes a lot more time than we have at the moment. So I don't
We
know.
definitely could do something around.
Yes.
Be a social media star.
And you
Yes.
did feature, oh, you announced it, but you mean like feature.
Like a
personal.
video. Yeah.
Picture of just like a picture of him reading a book or a picture of him in the plant
Mhm.
library or a picture
Yeah.
like You know,
Mhm.
what was Percival up to today? Like, I could
Mhm.
see that just quick, easy type of thing.
Or if the
It's not
adults
quick.
with the kid that found it, like snap the picture. and
Yeah.
send
They
it
allow
to
for
you.
that, yeah.
Yeah, that would be a good idea too. I did forget to mention in my library report that we had 2 on-call people give notice. So, which is the 3rd summer that has happened, that I've had somebody quit right before summer reading program. So we are definitely feeling the pinch for that, but we do have interviews on Tuesday, and I had 10 candidates that scored over 80%. So we're interviewing 10 people, and I am very excited about that. I think we've got we do blind hiring, so I don't know who anybody is yet, but
Yeah.
but I'm very excited. So hopefully, so now we can hire for more than one position too. So that's nice. So also, we're a little tight for staffing right now. So I also have a lot of desk time this summer, which means there's not a lot of other stuff getting done at the moment, or there won't be. So, and that's just, one of those things that happens. So definitely, yes, we can do a better job with social media engagement.
But do you want to? I guess is that what, or is it working for us the way that it is right now?
I kind of feel like it's working for us. A lot of people right now are asking for more like e-newsletters and things through email, because they're looking for more curated, these are the things I'm interested in that are coming to my inbox. I can just look at that right there.
More targeted.
Mhm.
Yes. Okay. B2, annual patron community service continue to be conducted. I was just wondering if there was like a how, when, where.
So usually I do that in April. I did not do that this year because we're going to be doing a strategic plan survey.
Okay, so it's a
So-
once a year survey.
Oh, sorry. So I usually do one in April that's a customer service survey. And then after summer reading program in September, I do a programming survey. And I might not do that one this year as well because of strategic planning, but we'll see. Yeah.
And then I just wanted to clarify on B4, you said that the usage of ebooks, and so ebooks are now outpacing physical audiobooks, if that makes sense. And print books are outpacing ebooks. So
Yes.
It's opposite of each
Yes.
other. Okay.
Yep.
I just wanted to make sure that was kind of a question.
Yeah.
And then when it says a presentation was made to the Dundee City Council about the library cards for the inclusion of a future presentation.
Mhm.
The statistics showing Dundee card holders, do we know when that presentation?
When the next presentation will be?
Yeah, of the statistics.
Yeah. So I am waiting for a better climate, actually, because I think, especially after this week with I'm so sorry. So sorry about the school stuff.
Thanks. It's
The
been a
budget.
very.
I bet it has.
everything's
Wow.
Not good, Terry. but it's
Yeah.
gonna be really good.
Yeah. So this is definitely not the time for me to work on that. So
Yeah.
I'm just gonna kind of wait a little bit. Yeah.
I think that was all. That was all questions I had. I apologize, guys.
Oh, don't
That's a
apologize. That's why we sent it out. Any other questions?
I don't know if it's a question as much as an observation on the completed and ongoing, and just thinking of like what the next strategic plan could look like, and for things that really are like
Mhm.
table stakes for the library, right? So like they'll be in the strategic plan because they are so just like they are what you do.
Mhm.
And then in this update, not to have to go back and do it, but just like is it possible to go one by one and say, this one was a time bound thing and it is completed
Mhm.
versus this one is like,
Mm.
you know, like, it's hard to, I
Like an
think, it was
ongoing?
hard to read this and think like, is this ongoing because it is taking longer than we thought, or is it ongoing because of course it is, right? Like, 'cause
Okay.
it always will be a thing that we're
Yeah.
navigating, right? And
If-
just like,
Everything, that's a good point. Thank you. So
not criticism, just.
but I understand what you're saying. So I felt like, so let's see, objective A listed as completed, objective B, yeah, I felt like I could say that we did what was asked of us in the strategic plan, but also this is something that it's not like we're stopping this. So we're just going to continue on with that. And I felt that way with the other items as well. I felt like we met what we were asked for, and also this is part of who the library is and the services that we provide. I think as far as the cards for rural Newburgh and Dundee residents, that was really, Will Worthy really worked hard to get that one done. And then I just got to walk it across the finish line because he left right as that was happening, Yeah. Thanks, Will, indeed. That was a really big deal. So, and also everyone recognizes too, it's not a final solution. And so, there is more work to be done on that. And I do think that should be a part of the next strategic plan as well. I would like to see more happen with that in the next 5 years.
So if there's a version of this, because I think this is so helpful, but if there is a version that then, becomes something we share with the community or is part of a community conversation or anything like that, then maybe we use maybe the language is completed for things that really are time bound
Mm-hmm.
and then successful for things that in that time period, we felt like it was successful, right? But isn't the thing that's going to end.
Successful ongoing initiative.
Right, yeah. Just so we can, because I think you have so much to be proud of with the strategic plan, right? Like going through it, there's so much that you and the library team have done in this time period. And so whatever version of this conversation ends up with the public, I just want them to also feel that pride and understand everything that's been accomplished. So.
Yeah, I appreciate that perspective. I hadn't looked at it like that. Awesome.
Also kudos, because it really was fun to read through all of it. You're like, dang, that's like
what?
a lot of really cool stuff.
Yeah, I
did a lot of stuff.
Yeah, it was really fun to write, actually.
Yeah.
Because I'm going through it like, wow.
We did that.
Yeah. Which is something exciting to show my staff too, because they've worked really hard. So I also appreciate that when Will Worthy did this strategic plan, I felt like it was the most usable strategic plan we've ever had. I think it was very there were aspirational things in it, but also it was very based in reality. And I kind of wondered, so this was done during 2020. So there weren't a whole lot of, I think having a public meeting is important. And we talked about this a little bit too, but also with direction from library staff too, as far as really grounding this and making it something that's really usable. So I think that was done really well in this one, because when staff submit their program proposals in the form, they check off which of the strategic plan goals this is meeting. And so I was able to really use it in a not like, let's put it on a shelf and nobody looks at it again, which I felt like is kind of how it's been used in the past. But this one was very much like oh no, we're really using this and making sure that we're staying on track with this. So yeah.
Well, and cool for your staff as they're having these awesome ideas to then have that moment of oh, this does a lot. I
Mhm.
have to pick which of these aligns to it. It aligns to this bigger picture thing that we're trying to do, which I think is just helps reinforce that individual contributions, you
Mhm.
know, are part of this bigger whole thing. So cool.
Yeah, for sure. All right. So, strategic plan.
So I just want to say, wow,
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it is very impactful.
it was really cool to read, and it was laid out really well, and it's like, good, we have actions we can actually take and
Yeah.
not just flounder.
Mhm.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
It was a combination of, I think I mentioned I do a lot of this in my day job. Actually, this whole week have been in strategic planning board mode, so it's been a little fun, but also I'm a little tired.
Yeah.
of this conversation, I'm
Yeah.
not gonna lie.
I bet.
But so it's a combination of that stuff that I already had, and then I confessed this to Corey and will confess to all of you, but from a formatting standpoint and just like AI helped, like I
Oh,
can't, you know, so
But it's very readable
thank
and,
you.
and
Yes,
which is nice.
thank you.
You still steered the AI.
For
Very
sure.
heavily, yeah.
Yeah.
AI,
And that's
I like to
its
think of
job.
AI as a
Yeah.
an overeager intern.
Yeah.
right? It's like
And it responds to me that way now too, when I point some, oh, you're right, thank you for catching that.
yeah, so
No problem.
computer.
Computer. Computer.
A little bit feels like overkill. At least it felt like by the time I was like done drafting, I was like, do we really need all of
I
this
liked it.
detail? But and this is missing, I think, the staff. It needs a heavier emphasis on staff input.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, so it's like, how are we going out to the community and getting community input? Because there's got to be that layer first. That is, I think, that is that the staff.
Mm-hmm. So we reviewed briefly the 2021-2026 strategic plan, and I can see through a lot of the objectives that's, are still ongoing, still hold on. As far as the usage and outcome data, I put together a library state report every year. So I think that will be a good place for us to not only get the library statistics, but then you can also see how we're comparing to libraries around us.
I actually sat down yesterday morning and went through that. I kind of compared us and say Sandy and a couple other places that I could look at on the
Similar,
same
yeah.
screen
Right?
that were about the same size.
Mm-hmm.
There's some stuff that they spent more on, there's some
Mhm.
stuff we spent a lot more on.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, wow, this is pretty impressive.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I think it's really helpful. It's a lot of work for libraries to get all of that information together. And I know it certainly is a lot of work for the state library, but it is so useful. I mean, there's things that I use it for every single year. So, but I think this is going to be one that's going to be really helpful for. Reviewing Newburgh's current goals. You can look up the current council goals on the website. I think I sent a link for that, didn't I?
you did.
And it, when we did this strategic plan, there were a lot of goals that really tied in with more library work. And the current one,
They have one.
yeah, it just doesn't really tie in as much.
One that I saw, create and maintain a high level of transparency.
Exactly.
with our residents in order to build trust.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the main functions of the library anyway.
Yes.
So that's the one we tie to.
Yeah. And that's a big function of the library board, right?
Right.
With our public meetings. So, yeah, the other one, like there's a lot on public safety and other important things for the entire city too, but not as much for library specific. So. Where do you want to take it from here?
Do you want to do
Come into
this?
Yeah, need.
So it would be a conversation around identifying strategic themes, I feel like. that, I mean, well, first a conversation about like, is there anything that we want to adjust about the project plan or the timeline or any of the, like,
Mhm.
the kind of chunks, right? No, I don't think any like wordsmith necessarily, but uh, does the timeline make sense? The survey, the thought around the survey was that it aligns with, or the sort of the community input phase, it aligns with when we're not in board meetings. That probably would still mean that we would be, some of us at least, engaged in some form of community conversation throughout
Right.
that, right?
Mhm.
There was a little bit of concerns there, I guess, when I looked at it, that was happening when we were meeting and that, yeah, like between now and next month, getting that survey kind of finalized so that it can run while we're not, I was a little concerned. I don't think there's anything we can sort of do, more just a concern.
And I've built this with a, like, we're probably gonna have some longer board meetings when we do meet.
Yeah.
But, you know, there are many different approaches to like our time. Oftentimes it's an entirely separate thing, right? Where it's like a deep dive on a Saturday for 4 hours. So I think things like that, like I was initially trying to plug it into the existing structure to say like meetings might be a little longer. Well, no, they absolutely will be a little longer.
Mhm.
But we have this existing structure. But I think that's probably a question I would ask the group. And I don't think I have a perspective about what the right way to do it would be, but just I do think walking out of today was like, we know what the blocks of time are that we're committing to, and also know that there will probably be some things that'll take more time than we think,
Mhm.
right? That we'll have to be flexible on.
Mhm.
So
Yeah. And we have a all staff meeting on the 26th of June, which is our fourth Friday staff meeting. And we'll focus that one on the strategic plan. So if there's a couple people who can be at that one, that would probably be helpful too. It's Friday, June 26th.
Do you
We
do that
usually
every
start
month?
about almost every month.
Okay, because I was thinking, because we had talked about how this is very heavy in getting the community
Mhm.
kind of reactions and input, and we had talked about kind of leaning into obviously getting staff input and maybe doing more in regards to there. So do we want to take? I mean, we're not doing the survey until July, August, so we probably wouldn't want the staff input until then too. So maybe leaning in.
I think it would be helpful for staff input ahead of the survey, and that way we can help narrow the focus, right? So, and also because it's summer, we have outreach events at the Yamhill. I guess that one's probably early in June. But there's like the YCCO baby shower, but we're also doing the Wednesday market. We're going to be doing some tunes on Tuesday. So those are different opportunities, I think, where we can reach people that aren't necessarily library people, which is, it's easy for me to reach library people. We have a newsletter that gets read, and where am I missing people? So
What time is your meeting on Friday?
our meeting on Friday would be 9:45 to usually 11:30. Okay, thank you. You are not teaching.
I am technically here, but like with the super like back in the night before, so I don't think you should count on it.
Okay, that's fair.
It have to go and sing along now, so I have to look at that.
Yeah, no worries. And maybe we can do some work ahead of time too to really work on what we're going to talk about with staff and
Well, that I think is my question is because we're building questions, obviously, for the community survey. Do we want to
Mhm.
build questions for like a more structured staff survey,
Mhm.
or do we want more free form,
Mhm.
or do we want both,
Mhm.
or do we both?
And do you want, I mean, so even like in the proposed agenda for today, us talking through the, like what would the big buckets be for the
Mhm.
strategic plan? I think it's really fair to say, like, do you go to the staff and ask them they're so close to the work, right? So like, should they have the first go at a conversation around what the buckets even are, right? And should they have first go at what the survey looks like? All of, it's like, is that where you would start and then bring their perspective to the board and then we, go from there? Or do we say, we want these big buckets and then go to the staff and they give input within those buckets?
Or do we take all the big buckets we can think of, if you talked about.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So,
And
Put 'em out there.
and put them out there and say, now, how do you,
What do you
as the team program manager, or
Yeah.
you as the
Mhm.
outreach, or you as whoever, feel about these?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that,
Yeah.
but we give them something to start with, rather than making them come up with things.
Shouldn't then, if we're gonna go the route where they're giving the input first, shouldn't that be before June?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Could it be this May one? And then in June, we can come back, you know what I mean, with that feedback?
So the May one is tomorrow,
Oh.
and that's my summer reading one.
Yep.
So that one, that time frame right there will not work.
Could you
Um,
Survey Monkey it?
Oh yeah. I mean, we use Google Survey quite a bit too, so we could absolutely do that. I do like the big buckets and using the staff to narrow it down.
I do too. Because they're the ones that are really putting
Yep.
quite a bit of the effort into making this
Yep.
buckets fill up.
Yeah, so it's interesting as an advisory board, right? Like we're furthest from the expertise, but we are the voice of the community,
Mhm.
right? And so we're furthest from like technical expertise as staff of the library, but closest to, hypothetically, as the representatives of the community, the expert of the user and the one who benefits from or could benefit from the library, right? So just that like, which end do you start on? I think is a philosophical question in
Right.
in planning. that we
Yeah.
have to solve for
I don't think
today,
there's a
so-
wrong
No, there isn't a
answer,
wrong way
but
to do it, but
Okay, so if we want them to the buckets first, were we agreeing on that?
Are we
Everyone-
narrowing the buckets, or are we just giving them free reign on the buckets?
I think
It
we
sounded
should,
like we were brainstorming them, right? And then they were gonna narrow them down.
I thought we were asking.
I thought that's.
I thought we
Yeah, I
based on
thought that's what we
Brittany
were
said,
gonna do.
and
yeah.
Sharif suggested, here's some. You all add whatever, or reword or whatever, and
Mhm.
that we would play whiteboard or whatever we want to play today, and
Yeah.
just write all those words out and see what we come up with.
and I would
Yeah.
start, so I would start by saying, this is the strategic plan we're about to finish, right? And maybe the objectives in a future strategic plan are written differently, but are the categories that we're talking about in our current strategic plan still categories that we care about for a future strategic plan?
Mhm.
And then look at this list from the agenda of digital access and technology equity and early literacy and say, like, are there things from this list that aren't reflected in the current strategic plan that we want to add as a consideration for a future? And is there anything from the current strategic plan of categories that we want to remove, right? So let's start from what we currently have. So if we just look at this page that you accidentally
Mhm.
printed, that gives
Yeah.
us this wonderful like cheat sheet to look at the current strategic plan, right? And like not wordsmith the objectives, but just say like, what's the purpose of objective A,
Mhm.
right? And then do we still think that the physical spaces?
Because I did that. I actually.
Oh, did you go
and,
through?
like looking through? I did it to physical spaces or physical structure and usability, physical digital resources, service area, and DEI. So I broke the board out because I needed that for my own brain.
Mhm.
So do we still think that those are relevant buckets for a future strategic plan? I think would be the first question. And again, I don't think we should wordsmith, but just like at the highest level conceptually, right?
Mhm.
So just really throw out theme ideas, not objective ideas.
The words you wrote down that you're like,
Yes,
this one's
right.
about this one's about this. For the
That
prior
are
strategic
really the
plan,
theme. Do
do we still think those themes are relevant for a future strategic plan? I would say yes.
I
I
would say yes.
personally say yes, because I think you had ongoing in so many of them because it is the work of the
Right.
library.
And the one that you say complete on is about space.
Which
And there are
will-
other things on space. that
Oh,
we can
yes.
Obviously. work
Always.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, because at the heart of it, it's a physical space that we want people to use.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I have a building that is over 100 years old that we're sitting in the basement of right now. And I love it. I absolutely love it. And it always needs work.
Nothing straight or like straightforward.
Yeah.
Nope. And then my 1980s building, also needs work. So that's always going to be part of it.
So then it sounds like the themes, again, we're not wordsmithing, but just themes are all still potentially relevant going forward, we think, right? And so then my next question would be, if you go to this list or other things that come to mind for us, that's in the agenda document, like, do we think there are other themes that we want to add? And without getting too, I go down rabbit holes with stuff like this. Like, it could be something that you could be like, yeah, but that fits in this bucket, but maybe don't worry about that today. It's still just like, are the things that are top of mind, either from you, Corey, or from one of us with that list as a way to jumpstart ideas.
So we throw out some themes, we give those themes to the staff and say, which ones do you think still fit? Which ones would you add? Which ones would you take away? And then based off of that feedback, we come back and then we wordsmith them into and pick our 4 or 5. Because I know there's 4 in the prior strategic plan. We don't necessarily have to stay with 4, do we?
No.
I mean, if we end
Okay,
up,
so if we agree on that the 4 that were from last year, the question is, are we adding anything else from this list?
Yeah, this is a whiteboard.
Or otherwise?
Yeah,
So-
like staff capacity and organizational health, I think is, like, does that rise to the level of strategic plan in Corey's mind in terms of like, the question I would ask about that in another setting would be like, is the model changing in the future? Are you anticipating that the industry of library science is changing in the future such that you might have to reorganize your staff, right? Or that there's
A shortage like that.
like that,
Yeah.
right? The advisory board is thinking about it at that level in terms of like, how do you prioritize over the next 5 years, ensuring that Corey and her team can organize themselves in a manner that accomplishes the rest of the goals. So I don't know the answer to whether that one fits in there, because I don't know how much libraries are evolving over the next 5 years, but maybe they are.
Yeah, actually, that would be great. Thank you. So as far as for staffing, I think right now we're in a different place than we've ever been before as a library, which is that more of my staff have a master's of library science than my staff who don't. So, and when I started, there was one person who had a master's of library science at the library. So I think that's really exciting to me, because my staff who are I do have some people who are in library school right now as well. And the ideas that they are bringing from what they're learning is really exciting. And I also think that there's some of us who have been around for a long time now, and continual education is really fantastic. So I think, and I do work on that at the library, and I think continuing to prioritize that isn't something we've had in the strategic plan before, but it's something that we've done, and I do think it's important.
It energizes people.
Yes.
To reframe things differently.
Yes.
Even with the exact same resources, it's like you figure out how to shuffle it different. Right, somehow.
Mhm.
Because you're like excited. Oh, what if we just
Yeah.
These are the original 4. Did you want me to kind of summarize these ones and put them back on there?
No, I don't know that. I mean, I think so many of these different nails. So, or maybe not so many of, but, and maybe we go. Sorry,
I think they're also pretty summarized. I don't think we can squeeze.
if you add them, if it's still.
I think we need
to add
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
we need to put it out there and see.
Every one of them.
Say we do have, we have a staff capacity. I added excellence in organizational health / well-being. That I'm not sure. falls
Yeah.
into what it does.
Add that one.
Well, and I went out and read a bunch of strategic plans yesterday for libraries across the United States, including the big libraries and Library of Congress.
Mhm.
And I really liked, they had 4 main objectives: expand access, enhance services, strengthen capacity, which was both physical and personnel related, and foster innovation. I'm not saying we have to use those.
Mhm.
What I'm saying is finding ways to do something like that, I think, is where we take some of these and go, oh, they all fit under these larger kinds of headings.
Mhm.
Sounds kind of good. Because when I was looking at this, I was like, some of this sort of connects, and like lifelong learning and early literacy and
Yeah.
youth development, I think, are very similar. One's they're for 2 different age groups.
Yeah.
But that
But
kind of
would
a
fit
thing,
in one of these
but could
pots.
fit in something like that.
Mhm.
Other things that I saw was connecting with the community, promoting learning and literacy, nurture inclusion and ideas, invest in staff, prepare our community for the future. So then there was one that was very high level that I was like, okay, well-being, awareness, and inspiration. Were the 3 things that everything else in that plan went back to. So we can do something like that, or we can be as detailed as we want. I don't know, other ideas.
Mhm.
Will you
I
say
really
the
like
one that
that.
was preparing the community for the future? Was that one of the? things?
Prepare our community for the future. I forget, this was a library in Massachusetts.
That's just, that's a compelling one, right?
Yeah, absolutely it
I mean,
is.
theoretically, that's the job of like schools and libraries.
Yeah.
right? I guess I never really thought about it that way, but it's really true.
It's not
Yeah.
really broad because it could apply to a lot of different
It
parts of
could,
the.
it is.
Yeah.
but-
You don't have to teach your handwriting, so.
Leslie, I'm so sorry about the cord that you have to keep stepping over.
If I fall,
If you
Yeah.
fall, we will not be laughing at you.
Not-
I
No.
think that you're one of the ones that I did kind of call out to when I was looking at it, because it talks about in here digital access, digital literacy. And I know we talk about early literacy, youth development. I think digital literacy
Mhm.
is part of that as well and needs to be kind of a call out, and whether that's we put that in the digital resources bucket or the literacy bucket.
I think I would put it in the literacy bucket.
I think so
Mhm.
too.
But you
Yeah.
could easily see that becoming like
Mhm.
under an
Mhm.
objective, one
Yes.
of the.
I would
one
write
of
it,
the-
can you write it down?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and because what I see with the need for digital literacy is very different. It's a very different audience for me than my early literacy audience. Yeah.
Not to go too far back in this, but I sort of skipped over this, but I think it's an important conversation to have. What has changed in Newburgh since
Mhm.
2021? But the new plan could reflect, and I don't, I mean, I think how long I've been on the board, but I felt like for a while, so many of our conversations were about safety.
Mhm.
And that has died down. So I'm
Mhm.
curious, I know that gets covered in a physical space, physical structure usability, but it is
Mhm.
a little different from like ensuring that that the steps are
Yeah.
usable. But I'm just
Yeah.
curious, do you feel like that was a moment in time or a thing that you're gonna have to like plan for in the future more?
Oh, I think it's I have the feeling that it's a comes and goes kind of thing. But I also think we did a huge amount of work around safety, getting grants and spending funds on all of the cameras around the library. And that made a huge difference because when people know that they're on camera too, a lot of that behavior went away. I think staff did a really good job too. We trained and we were very clear on expectations and clear that everyone is welcome in the library, but not all behaviors are welcome in the library. And so when people saw that staff were that they were getting the same conversation from everyone. Then certain people stopped pushing on things too, and it was really clear. So I would love to think that that was just a hard moment in time. I suspect that we'll have some of those moments again. But I also feel like we figured out how to weather them pretty well. So
continue that work then, it sounds like. Because
Yeah.
when everyone's getting a fair and equal message, some of
Mhm.
that
hmm
dies down. But
Yeah.
being accessible and open to the public opens you to that.
Yes, it means all the public and in all the glory that is of.
I think safety also ties in. Because I think
Oh,
safety
yeah.
is not the big physical safety.
hmm
There's a digital safety now to it
Mhm.
too. So tie into that aspect of it. Did you want me to add adults and seniors into it?
I agree.
Yeah.
Especially on the like how people understand.
Are there other things that we think have changed in Newburgh or in the world since 2021 that would impact the library? Like I know this week specifically funding for the school district is in a challenging place and likely to continue in that vein for a while. So does that
Mhm.
shift the role? If you know that for the next 5 years, the local public institution or public school institution is going to have to shift its resources and priorities. Does that impact the library and how the library looks at its resources?
I think
or
it
no?
would possibly shift, at least from an OBOB standpoint. I feel like we're gonna have less ability to purchase copies for our
Mhm.
kids, which means they might get more heavily used here.
hmm
Because parent groups in the past or parents who have donated have bought like a significant amount of copies for each school so that
Yeah.
kids can check them out. And I know that's just one little thing, but like
hmm
it means a more heavy use on like a specific set of books for a long period of time.
hmm
And at a higher level, does the library play a bigger role in literacy across the school connected?
hmm
Or I don't know that, I mean, I'm not proposing that the library does.
Just connected with like the local homeschool organization. I know there's been a huge shift, like especially in my daughter's age group where she started out right in the 2020, right?
Mhm.
Range, where there was a lot of parents that started in homeschool because they kind of had to and have kept in that vein.
hmm
So are we tied in as the library to that as a resource
Mhm.
for that? And how do
I
we
mean, I
support
would
that?
assume so. Yeah.
Definitely.
I know
Yeah.
it's definitely growing. It's not where
Yeah.
it was even 5 years ago, it's the numbers there. Insane.
hmm Yeah, I mean, we have regular homeschool programming too. So one of our regular library patrons volunteers for that, and she's as a homeschool parent. It's great because she knows what her group really wants too. So I think that right there also speaks to a successful way for us to do programming too, which is to work with our public and work with people who are in different groups so that we can really so it's not just us thinking that we know what somebody wants, but it's our homeschool parents saying, I'm connected to these parents and here's what we're looking for. And we can say, here's what we can work with you on the library, and we can do a homeschool family book club this year. And then next year that will look a little different, and just continue to have those conversations too.
Community program.
I think it's already in a bucket. But I think it will be interesting to see. It will be interesting to see with the school district, because we can't go in and take the place of a school librarian, right? And so, and
to my knowledge, nobody in spaces.
okay.
They're
Maybe just
technically
resources
classified.
for it.
Yeah, they're classified employees. So I think that their ability to purchase books is going to shift, but
hmm
not their jobs.
hmm Yeah, it'll be, I feel like I don't know the answer to that, but I'm sure the answer is yes. I mean, I
Yeah.
don't know how, but I know that it will,
I
because
think
it does.
those literacy workshops that you guys had,
Mhm.
even though they were in there and we promoted them, I think those kinds of things might become possibly more important because the capacity of classroom teachers to stay late or do something is going to be really low.
Mhm.
And we might want to like utilize some of those spaces to
Mhm.
educate.
Mhm.
We had a couple of people that went and they really enjoyed them.
Oh,
So
good. Yeah.
We can type it up in our spaces.
Are there other things that, I mean, to me, that's like an example of what's changing in Newburgh or what has
Mhm.
changed. And this is stuff that's not necessarily gonna make a bucket, but it's like,
Mhm.
here are unknowns, but like, if we're trying to, that our knowledge on it's squishy, right? Because we're just trying to anticipate the
Yeah.
future. But
Mhm.
here are the things that have changed, or we think things are gonna change. We think the environment around public education is shifting. And at this
And I
point, we're
think
just
just-
asking the
Yeah.
question,
Right.
how could that impact the future?
I just
Yeah.
think the price of things in general is going to shift people to possibly wanting to spend
Oh.
more time checking things out for free
Mhm.
rather than buying from Amazon or buying from a bookstore, just
Mhm.
because their ability to purchase extraneous things is going to be
Mhm.
significantly
Affordability.
less.
Yeah, I think so too.
Affordability.
I also think AI is on everyone's
Mhm.
mind right now too, and I think that fits to me under digital literacy too.
I was gonna add it as, so big.
It's
Digital literacy and-
it's so big, and I don't like. We have a lot of seniors too who have a lot of questions about it. There are some people that we help here at the library who are not comfortable using a mouse, and then they're hearing about AI, and that all seems really scary too when you don't have any. I mean, sometimes that seems scary to me too. So, but I think when you have if you have a very basic digital literacy too, then I think that can be even more confusing.
And that might be, I know we're not doing the specifics, but that might be a cool space to leverage like George Fox students or something to allow some of them to come in and especially some of the education ones, because they would get credit for like doing a thing.
Learn something.
Mhm.
Yeah,
They-
exactly.
right.
And they could like present like, here's the
Mhm.
good things. Stay
Mhm.
away from this. Don't
Mhm.
give people your information.
Mhm.
Because even, I mean, my parents are really savvy people and got duped recently about something like, they're very savvy. And I was like,
Yep.
"What?"
It's so easy.
It's just really, yeah,
Yeah.
they're just real sneaky now.
Oh, yeah.
So you mentioned just the theme of affordability and how that
Mhm.
might impact library use.
Mhm.
Do we think that do we anticipate any massive changes in how you're funding over the next 5 years, how your funding might be impacted?
I
Change, the pie chart change?
Yeah, I don't see that as changing right now. We have a city manager who is very fiscally responsible, and that's also a goal of the city council too, right? Is that I think that everyone's done a really good job, so the city hasn't found itself in the same place that a lot of cities around us have found, and that kind of minimizes. I think it makes it sound more like they could have done something where there's a lot that plays into that, and sometimes it was really beyond anyone's control, right? But I think our city has done a really good job with that, and I don't see that right now. I mean, definitely that could change. Yeah, but it looks like we're okay right now. Yeah. Mhm.
So here's our themes, our buckets. June meeting, you'll take it to the staff
Mm-hmm.
for them to narrow it down or add or subtract.
Or we
Mhm.
send it out prior to the June meeting so we can discuss their input in our June meeting.
But we don't have, right. I always mess this one up. I don't know why it's so hard for me to remember, but so we do have a June meeting and then we don't have a July or August meeting.
This goes out
before your.
Your June meeting is before my staff meeting. Yes. Yeah.
Is what-
Does that feel like you're gonna get good
Uh,
information put out in
love
the
that.
survey? I love that.
Yeah, me neither.
Because it feels like they need to be there to have a physical conversation.
Yeah.
Do they come to our June board meeting?
Well, I can't make that happen, but
Required.
Yeah, it's like-
yeah. Let's see. June 19th is a holiday. But I do wonder if maybe I could move our staff meeting to June 12th.
Then I can't be there.
Oh, yeah, no, you
That's
can't.
elected.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? I really wouldn't.
Okay, I had to go to Sloan's recital, her violin recital recording. It was awesome. I loved it.
And when children learn to play instruments, it can be a
Yeah.
little
Oh,
painful.
guess what we own now?
A violin.
The program worked. You won. We won. Good job.
That E string is a real bummer.
How to play violin. Sloan's birthday was on Monday. Guess what she got? A violin.
Gosh.
That is awesome.
But yeah, no, it was.
Not a viola, not a cello.
But yeah, it's cool that she's into it. And
Anyways, are you guys at Austin?
Uh-huh.
So do they have Joy there too?
Yeah.
How in the world does it get to Maple Rush?
I don't know, but they have an after-school program too. Once they graduate from the first
I
grade.
know.
Yeah, and we're just starting with
Edward has that.
Yes, we know Edwards has it. We've been trying to figure out how to get it.
Yeah. You guys
Edward
have
refuses
it?
to do it.
No, but everybody's irritated because we have outdoor school.
Oh,
So they're
yeah.
like, it all evens out. I'm like,
Nah,
that a 3-day
yeah.
thing evens
Yeah.
out with like musical.
Yeah.
I'm sure, but okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, like through
Do
the
all
whole
the grades have
year.
outdoor school? I mean,
No, just
Okay, so
Me-
Edward has that.
Maple Rush
you
is a
just don't need the
weird.
overnight and we do.
Yeah.
There you go. That actually works out better because Emma would have it. You make it. It'd be good for her.
She'd have.
But
Okay, anyways, changing the meeting possibly to.
Possibly, if I can change it to the 12th, then I think that would be a lot more helpful for
Would it be
us
the
because we
same?
meet on the 8th. Yes.
Probably could come in all earnestness to the very beginning because I don't have kids on the last day of school because I
Oh.
teach reading groups and do you know what we don't do on the last day of school?
You don't do reading
Don't
groups?
do reading groups because they're doing like class parties and it's not
Mhm.
really cool to like book that.
Take them out of that.
you must read now.
You know, kids
Man.
enjoy that space. But I could probably come from like 9:45 to like 11.
Yeah, I could probably
Maybe.
come
Yeah.
similar because it's just, I don't remember exactly when they let out. I just would have to be out to pick her up in
Mhm.
time type of thing.
So,
Yeah.
one
We're out at 11.
procedural question, how many of us
Mhm.
could show up without having a
Oh,
public meeting?
yes. Thank you for that.
Oh, good
So
call.
you could have 2 people, but you could not have 3 people.
You
Okay.
count as one.
No,
She does
I'm
not.
not a voting member, so I don't count. Yeah, so I could have, yeah. So 2 of you could come. Thanks for reminding me
Yeah,
about that
that's- I
too.
just
Yeah.
thought about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
not a public
No,
meeting.
no.
If either of you can't make it, let me know and I can.
I'll check with my
Okay.
principal tomorrow. He probably won't.
I'm in town, I could, but I'm off.
But stand on.
And again, it would, I'd have to leave because I would have to go and get her.
Oh,
So I
yeah.
would Stay for it's like 45-hour type of thing. and then I-
Okay.
We just
Yep.
swap places. We just high five.
Right?
Yeah.
Then the 2 people meet at the door. They're never in the room. Yeah.
So probably not. It'd be more of an offline thing, but coming up with an activity that helps the staff navigate through a
Mhm.
conversation that's a little better than what we're doing here.
Mhm.
Right? That helps them move around the room and have
Mhm.
conversations and maybe start with their own thoughts and then move into group discussion and then
Mhm.
move into a whole
Mhm.
discussion. So just thinking through, like, I'm
sticky
happy to
notes.
help her in on that, but
Yeah,
they probably need a pretty structured.
yeah.
So are you providing them with those buckets to start with and then they
I'd
expand
wanna
from there?
come up with a plan first and figure out where this fit, you know what I mean, for how
Yeah.
we would engage in the conversation too. And then figure out, is it starting from this place or is it,
Shuri and Corey work on plan.
if that's okay. I do think it needs to
Very
be
much, please.
Yeah, because that's nice,
Yeah.
because then it doesn't leave it all on. Social. I mean, if it's on yours too. It can be hard to facilitate and then like facilitate others.
But then should you be one of the people
Yeah.
that's
Well, but
physically
no, I mean,
there? Because you're
no, I
building
think
the
we just
plan
make
ahead
sure
of
it's
time.
like,
Yeah.
then you all have the opportunity to
I'm
know what the
very good at
plan
sticky
is.
noting it.
before, yeah, I mean,
I can do all the.
we'll get you the little color coded stickers. Yard sale stickers.
He's gonna go around and give everybody stars.
I think as long as we don't have dots.
That's
I
what I'm
think
talking about, the
dots
yard
has
sale
traumatized
stickers, right?
people,
Like,
but
Or
from school district meetings I participated in previously.
They really
yeah,
like that.
I remember that, the high school. Okay,
Yeah.
so, but it's that plus survey, right? Because we want
Yes.
to be able to come to our June meeting. That I don't know that the timing is gonna work on that, so we may have to be flexible ones on the
Mhm.
timing of us coming, like, maybe we don't have a discussion about the survey at the June meeting, but maybe we do via email or something.
Well, we
Or no,
we couldn't do
via
it during email because of, public meeting.
Did you see, like, yeah, we're supposed to confirm the draft?
Yeah.
For the June meeting. And
If we did, I don't know what's on the library schedule, but would a June 25th meeting work for people? Not for you?
As a board meeting, to
Yeah.
move our board meeting to the fourth Thursday.
Hmm. Or, I mean, it actually doesn't have to be a Thursday, does it? I probably just have to.
I actually was gonna say that I wasn't gonna be able to make the 18th work, so.
Okay.
Which,
Yeah, the 25th is actually better for me.
yeah,
Oops. Let me do.
I know you said
No,
you're
they're
flying
fine.
back that day, Sherry. When
That's
would you
my
be
fault.
That night.
that night.
That's the 25th, yeah.
That
make
night, no.
Yeah, that's fine.
I don't have that other. Okay.
What about the 26th? What if you're moving your staff meeting to the 12th? What if we use the 26th? I know that's a Friday.
Like during the day.
Or like an afternoon one.
I mean, I can't pull up the calendar for this room right now, but Fridays are generally good days for us. I mean, the library doesn't open until noon on Fridays, so it's a very well, especially if I had originally planned on having a staff meeting that day. Like, we definitely could meet. We would need to make sure. Let's see about this, because it would be a public meeting, of course. But it's also available on Zoom, so that would still work. Yeah, we could do that.
I can make the Friday morning library.
Would we
Board
do
meeting.
it before it opens? Is that what we're talking
If we did like I don't know, like a 9:00 on Friday the 26th meeting, does that work for people? Probably not.
I maybe.
Okay.
I think it'd be helpful, like, at least for me, saying this, I'm not gonna come till midnight the night before, but like, my brain for this kind of work in
Mhm.
the evening is more challenging than in the morning, so it'd be Like, I'm like, ooh, a 9 o'clock meeting in the morning, we could like talk through survey stuff, talk through
Mhm.
staff feedback.
We'd all have a
Mhm.
coffee.
We'd all have
Mhm.
a coffee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can.
Or in this room, we can actually
Yeah.
have
So,
drinks and.
Yeah.
possible
I feel like
treats.
on my library growing up, it's not allowed to, so it's like in there.
Well,
true.
Well, we ask that you cover it if you
Yeah.
have a lid on it.
Then
And that like you don't bring in a pizza or a chicken dinner because we've had both those things happen and it's not a good thing.
dang it.
Like a chicken,
Big 9 a.m. chicken
like a
dinner.
rotisserie chicken,
Okay.
and then
Wow.
opened it up on the table upstairs and then got grease stains all over the place and had to have the carpet cleaned. That was the straw. That there was somebody who brought an entire pizza into the children's picture book area,
Oh, that.
and we were like,
seems
and a soda and a
Yes.
big thing of soda, and we were just like, is this really happening? Right?
The rotisserie chicken that I saw someone pull out of their purse in a movie theater.
Oh,
That was a
Yeah, I'll throw out. I'll throw out.
that
That's
was
a pro move.
I was like, yeah.
Right?
I mean,
Like, could I?
right. I was gonna say you'd have
That was
to.
definitely
Oh
one of those
yeah,
moments where like
This would
you're
work.
all kind of looking at them like,
what's that about? Right.
yeah, you may have a little 10-year-old in the back with headphones on at the 9 o'clock meetings, but that's okay. Yeah, we'd love that.
Oh, I'm totally
I was gonna
fine with
say,
that.
Makes it an even better meeting.
So I will see about June 26th, 9 a.m. And for clarity, we're talking about not having our June 18th meeting and instead having a June 26th meeting. Right. Okay.
That's what we're.
Which gives us
Just a
more
little
time
bit
to
more
get the
time.
feedback
Yeah.
and get the
And do something with
questions.
this.
Yeah.
If I could be virtual,
Yeah. Definitely.
for sure, could be virtual.
Yeah, because well, I mean, it's a public meeting, so I'd have to be on Zoom anyway. So
Then
great.
Yeah.
You're going.
Thank you. Okay. I will let you guys know as soon as possible about that. And actually, that's really nice. I'm with you on that. I would rather
should we change
always
the
have.
meeting?
I would never be able to make it.
Yeah.
That's a weird thing. that
Yeah.
happened in my past,
Yeah.
but I understand.
I have another opportunity.
Yeah.
Well, he really likes libraries and books, so I'd be fine, but if we change principal to purple.
Yeah.
Then it might not work out. Then it might not work.
All right. What else do we need tonight? Is that what we needed tonight?
I think it probably is, and then some like quick work
Yeah.
after this. I will say our role in this kind of work will feel really messy for a while,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
like every meeting we have and through October is going to be a bit of a like, oh yeah, we should talk about that too, and oh like what's the first step, what's the third
Mhm.
step? So I just
Uh-oh.
Why
want
are we talking about?
to acknowledge that like
That's me. Sorry.
we're going to be in this like messy in between space for a bit, and that is by design, unfortunately. So
Can I just clarify, are we needing to draft the survey before the June meeting, or are we doing that?
Or are
So-
we not drafting? and
Yeah.
We're reviewing in June.
So I was trying to think through that, but not like bog us down it, but like the survey is tied to the way that the questions will be framed on the survey. I think the first survey was solid, and the last strategic plan was solid, right? So
Right, so we're
if
starting in a
this
good place.
conversation
Mhm.
with the staff, refines something, it's not throwing everything out and starting fresh, right? But it's refining a similar conversation. I think the hope is we could take that survey to the staff and have the same question as the next like step, and maybe not as a whole group, but
Mhm.
now that the staff has identified of these are the 5 that they really want to focus on, then can you does that map to the survey questions from before, what's missing, right? And then
Okay.
and then there might be some other survey questions that relate to like these unknowns around affordability or unknowns around, that like aren't going to fit into a strategic plan, but could inform
So then that's the work we can do in June.
I think so. Well, but I think we would hopefully have a
Some of it.
draft survey and buckets from staff. Not that
Okay.
staff would create the survey. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But
I see
we
what
will
you're
have
saying.
had a
think so.
conversation with
Yeah.
staff about the buckets and the related survey.
I see
Mhm.
what you're saying.
I've got to come up with a better word than buckets. but
And then come to the
themes.
come to the June meeting with work done ahead of time so that we're not like that we're basically refining it, but we're not crafting
We're not
it.
starting from scratch.
So
Yeah.
you're basically sending it to us kind of like this, where we get a
Uh-huh.
chance to really kind of
Think
dig
about it
into
beforehand.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we're
Well,
coming with clearer
yeah.
ideas.
Just let us know if you need help with that, because I
Okay.
don't think it
Yeah.
should fall on just the two of your shoulders, so.
I think what that would look like, thank you. I think what that would look like is a report out from the staff meeting that sort of synthesizes
Mhm.
their perspectives, a report out to the board.
yeah.
So that we have that and then, just like
Hmm. And then we can't, I mean,
one-way communication from you
yeah,
to us.
exactly.
Yeah.
'Cause it's just a reminder that
Yeah.
there's no
Can't be
discussion over email
Yes.
because then that
You
would
can
be,
send us
yes.
reports, information,
Yes.
Yeah.
whatever.
Just
It's
don't
not-
talk about it.
Yeah.
But it's
No,
more
it's
just for
fun.
us, like, a lot of this will be us. I don't feel like you give us a lot of homework for regular board meetings,
No,
right?
I
Like, we
agree.
need to,
So
like,
we can make
read the
up for
library
it.
narratives and
Yeah.
it's like,
Mhm.
yay, right? So I
We can
think
make up for it.
we can make up for it. That's I
Mhm.
think that's what I'm trying to say. Is like,
Mhm.
there may be work that we have to do.
Yeah.
Or if you
Mhm.
We're
want
better
to, I
prepared
know
for our conversations.
later on in the plan, it talks about each of us being responsible for an area. Well, maybe
Yeah.
you
Mhm.
make us responsible now for
Mhm.
an area.
Once we have the
Mhm.
buckets, you make us
Mhm.
responsible earlier
Right,
on.
here's your bucket,
Mhm.
work with what we have and see what you can come up with.
Mhm.
And then we send them all to Corey and then she sends them out.
Mhm. Well, and what we've talked about before too is that we've both had success with surveys that are brief,
Yes.
Mhm.
clear, and that you can state ahead of time a very honest, this will take about this many minutes. And also I would be using some of my programming money to say, and if you fill out the survey, you have a chance at winning a $25 gift certificate to a local business. And then I can give people, so
Right.
also just for clarity, with the city, I can only offer gift certificates to places that don't sell alcohol. And so then I can give people like, you can choose between these couple of places. What would you, right? Exactly. Ace Hardware is always a really popular one too. So, yeah.
Especially during the summer.
Accessibility. I mean,
Right?
hardware is a great one.
Right?
So,
So Fred Meyer would usually be good, but
Because
because they sell alcohol. And so we had to stop using them as well. So,
Who does raise?
that's a great question too. Yeah, I will definitely look into like, here are places that we could offer
but to incentivize.
to incentivize, because I do think that it's very helpful
It is.
for people to have that too. So,
Especially nowadays, anytime you can earn something that you can get,
Yep.
stuff like that. So question about the survey, and this may not be the time to ask, and you guys can tell me to shut up. I know that we talked about, so we do it in English and we do it in Spanish.
Mhm.
And there's the question on here as to whether or not we're doing the listening session.
oh wait, I do think we should do the listening session.
I think we should too.
Yeah.
It's no longer COVID. I think
Yeah.
that would be beneficial.
Yeah, I actually,
Because that was a question on here as to, does the board want to hold an off from in-person listening session in addition to the survey?
I was able to, summer is really tight program wise because we have so much going on, but I did find a date that was open and then I wrote it on a piece of paper that is not with me. So I will send out the listening session potential date. Oh, did I?
Well, I guess my question was,
Put it.
there's
Right
such
on
a
the back.
focus on in the last strategic plan as to accessibility, right? Like the rail program and all of those sorts of things. Is offering one in person and English Spanish really as accessible as we need to make it, or do we need to expand that?
Well,
It's
if you
just the
look at it-
question.
Well, the demographics of Newburgh are
Yeah,
largely white and Hispanic.
correct.
There
Yeah.
are very small groups of other people, and that's worth having those.
I guess
translated.
I'm not necessarily talking so much about translation as more on like the ADA side of accessibility. Like we talk really heavily in the strategic plan in regards to like the Braille program and things like
Mhm.
that. And obviously the in-person listening session does play into that of, you know, being able to provide for that. But is there anything else that we can do to maybe lean into that, since we did lean into it so hard in the past strategic plan, to make the survey as accessible as possible?
Oh, okay.
I don't know what Tim uses on our newsletters that go out, and I don't know if it would work for a survey, but there's a thing at the top it will automatically translate at least the online survey or online information into whatever language you want it to be, essentially.
But could you also do something, I think the program that one of the guys I used to work with was called Dragon, because he had cerebral palsy and only used his mouth, but he could talk, and it would do all of that. And I don't know what the.
Like a voice
Dragon,
command.
yes,
Yeah.
some kind of a voice.
And I think that's kind of what I was leaning towards, is that just general accessibility to the survey for those that maybe want to participate, but aren't necessarily able to digitally or, you know, come to the in-person. Is there anything else we can offer? Like just
How do we reach out to that
Yeah.
constituency?
Yeah.
Exactly, because I do think that that's an area where we've talked about, and it's so heavy in our plan of wanting to serve them
Mhm.
and wanting to be accessible to them. So how do we make sure that they're included in the questions that we're asking for the survey?
Mhm. Yeah, I think one thing that I've done with other surveys that I would also do with this one is make sure that it's not just digital, but also paper form, because some of our library patrons prefer, yeah, they're not digital. So that I think is one way we
Is
can
there
do
a
that.
possibility that you could even just add a sign that says, like, if you want to take the survey and you can't
Yes.
read it type of thing, ask a librarian and they'll help you fill it out, or you know,
Definitely.
just things like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Of just trying to expand it as much
Yeah.
as possible.
Yeah, I'll have to think on that because I don't have a ready answer of
Yeah.
what might be needed, and so how to.
Yeah, exactly. And I know that you guys
Yeah.
are tight during the summer and with so many programs and the staffing issues. So it's not that I want to place a undue burden on you guys. So what other resources could we potentially use?
Well, and if we
Mhm.
feel like it's that valuable to maybe have like an in-person person, if we have accessibility, like, could there be a time? Would it even be useful to say, like, from this time to this time, somebody will be here if you just want to, like,
Mhm.
not write it and not read
Mhm.
it? Ask you the
Just-
question.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just to dictate it.
I mean, I don't know how
Yeah.
how many people would use that, but I
Yeah.
have time, I'd be happy.
Mm-hmm.
I think
I like that.
one other thought on, it's not accessibility, but where you shared earlier, you know, who isn't connected at all,
Mm-hmm.
and how
Yeah,
do we,
exactly.
you know, the
How do you
elusive,
connect?
right?
Yeah.
Those
Yeah.
elusive folks that, like, how do you connect so that you can get their input and then also let them know about the library, right? So I think, again, as we're the voice of the community on the advisory board, not for us to answer today, but I think for us to think about
Mm-hmm.
before we head into survey and listening session era of this, like, who in our community can we be thinking of that aren't the likely, you know, who aren't already showing up, who aren't already connected to the library, that we might have connections to, and be able to make sure that those voices are represented. Yeah. Also, it's July 30th.
Thank you. July 30th is the listening session.
For that listening session, are we all to be
Good evening.
in
The library will be
attendance?
closing in about 30 minutes.
If we were, we'd have a July board meeting, so.
I was gonna say.
We can still call it a public meeting, but. and
Yeah.
it's broadcasted, because then people can also
Yeah.
come in on Zoom and ask their questions too, I guess.
Yeah.
And it would be public and.
What time is that due?
July.
July 30th.
Thank you.
What did we say?
Uh,
I think
I
maybe 6 o'clock, because it was going to be, I know I had to look for a day that there was an evening free.
Right, more of an evening meeting so that. people
Yeah.
could get to it.
Yeah.
After work.
I think if we I think if we do decide, we could decide right now if 3 or more people from the library board are going to be there, then we just, then I just list it on our list of public meetings and all of that. And I think that would be a good,
I think it sends a strong message to the community to have
mm-hmm,
as many of us as could be in attendance.
Mhm.
Like we're the ones listening, right? So
right. Who is listening to this?
So we have a whole conversation about not having a July meeting. So I also want to,
Yeah.
I don't think anybody should feel bad if they can't.
Yeah.
So, but I think we should assume.
Yeah. I think that would be a good yeah. And if you can't make it, that is okay. But we will, yeah. Yeah, we'll treat it like one. How's that?
I feel like a lot of follow-up or off the, what did you say, is falling on you. Is there anything else that we can be doing that?
Like
I think once the ball gets rolling, the answer to that will be definitely yes. But
Okay.
it's still kind of in the, the squishy
Mhm.
beginning stages, and my head's not fully in it yet. In the way that it would be if I was doing it for work. So, because I'm asking myself a lot of questions. I'm like, oh yeah, we've got to clarify the plan for the staff conversation, and so I think the answer to that's absolutely yes, but not quite yet.
Okay.
Just sorry, really quick with the clarification on the survey. Is the survey being sent out before June? No.
No. That will be something that we are figuring out at the June 26th, 9 a.m. that we are solidifying, let's say it that way, at our June
After staff
26th,
conversation about.
after the June 12th,
Okay.
hopefully June 12th staff meeting.
But you could still plan to. So if we do the listening session on July 30th, you could launch the survey the same day as the listening session.
Oh, yeah.
Right. So, I mean, so
That's
just
a good idea.
again, not trying to add more board meetings in July, but like if somehow there was work that needed to be done between the June meeting and July 30th, I don't think we have to launch the survey July 1, right?
Mhm.
Like,
The only thing is, if we waited until July 30th, I think we would miss our Tunes on Tuesday
oh yeah.
format.
And some of the people that are coming to sign up for library summer.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes, and launch it. And then if people want to also come to the listening session,
Mm-hmm.
then they've seen kind of what we're interested in, or they can express the fact that they like the elevator room.
I am so
I always love that one when that comes up. Oh, yes.
Not even-
Just,
but,
well, you need to think bigger, apparently.
Oh, we're gonna think.
it gives us more time to get people to
Yes.
come.
Yeah.
Or let us listen to them. Yeah, they have to see that.
Yeah.
Do you need help at Tunes on Tuesday, or does your staff take care of that?
I might need help on Tunes on Tuesday. So the Library Foundation is working on a cookbook that should be ready to sell. And so they want to have so the library booth will be, I'm going to cram as much into that as possible, but also like, I better give away stickers or something like that. You know how that works. Like,
You better be there.
yes, that would be a good idea.
I feel like he should
Yeah.
be front and center with some shades on.
Yeah, that probably would be a good idea too. So anyway, my hope is to, as well as selling the cookbook, which is going to be really good, by the way. I saw an early view and I'm very excited about it. There's some really fun recipes in there. But then we could also, have the QR code for the survey and all that kind of stuff too. So
Well, reach out to us.
yes.
Please.
If you can't continue to ask your staff to stay.
Yeah. Well, and I will tell you right now, I have less staff than I'd also given people approved vacations thinking that because people were covering that and then that's not happening anymore. And so it's a little sticky. June is a little sticky right now. So
When's the Tunes on Tuesday? Which Tuesday?
I don't,
It's all of July.
No, it's not. It's
No.
it is, they're doing it every other week and starting earlier in June. So I can send that out too though, because I have that. And what they told me for as far as that goes, I asked Scott at the chamber, do I need to, I mean, it's on our property.
Yeah. Bye. Yeah.
But
No.
which like he was really nice and great to work with, just to be clear about that. He was like, well, of course, have a tent out whenever you want. And I was like, do you need to know ahead of time? And he was like, nope, just
Show up.
And I was like,
Come on.
great.
We'll keep
So-
you posted because I'm happy to help there.
Okay. But I will just send out the tunes dates so you have those too, and we can.
Yeah, I didn't
think-
realize that had changed.
Yeah,
It's changed every year.
it has changed every year. Well, and last year it started in June because going into August, there were several times when it was too hot and they had to
Yes.
close that. So I think that was, That was
Very
a-
smart.
yeah, very smart shift.
And it's gonna be just a hot summer in general. For all months.
Oh, I just don't want that.
Okay,
Neither
are
do
we
I.
re-
I live in a house with no air.
Oh.
Are we, just move, are we good with
I mean, maybe.
where
We're
we're at?
good.
Okay, so our next meeting is changing potentially, most likely to the morning of June 26th,
Yes.
okay? At 9 a.m.,
At 9 a.m.
right?
And then July 30th at 6:00 p.m. for the listening session. That is, of course, also a public meeting. Which also does mean that it will have to be on Zoom as well.
Which we said was a good thing for work sessions, so people could join by too.
I think it is. I
Yeah.
like talk about accessibility.
Chat.
Yeah.
Because
Yes.
We're gonna get a lot of people who are running the type things. but
Yeah.
not speak.
I
I
think,
would say give
No.
opportunities for for folks to access the survey.
yeah.
Oh,
I've had a lot
Okay.
of good experiences
Corey,
in meetings, chat
didn't
staying
work.
open where things were not. Right, I don't know that that's a good
Yes.
okay.
That's why we do this as a webinar so that it's so that we have a lot more control, because there's been, Zoom bombing and other,
I guess
lots
most
of
the groups
things.
that I do that in are very
Well,
closed
if
groups.
You
Yeah.
open up the chat on a public
Well,
meeting
it's-
notice, it can.
Yeah.
Once you confirm your staff meeting
People
for
that
for
have the
June,
same
Yes.
opinion.
can you confirm that
Who?
staff meeting and who of us can attend?
I will yes, I will send out, I've got like 10 stars of things for me to
Yes, I'm sorry.
right here. No. No apology needed. I will just send something though, so we are all on the same page about this.
Right.
Thank you. 7:38. 7:38. Back to.